What's up, folks? How's it going? What's up there, Ellie? Nice to see you. What's up, J Pro? What's up, Starseed and Justin T? Morning to all of y'all. Just getting on for a quick show tonight, maybe like an hour or so if the weather stays nice. It's a bit foggy over the moon, but you can see, and some nice waning gibbous here, and Jupiter in tow right underneath the moon. So if y'all can go outside and see that, it is quite a sight. Jupiter still hasn't really cleared the treetops, so just gonna cruise around, do a little zoomed in shot right here of the Lunar. What's up there, Vicky? Nice to see you. Glad you made it for this little session tonight. We got a waning gibbous moon at, let's see, 83.2% tonight. And where's my 16 degrees apparent altitude. Jupiter is at 13 degrees, so 3 degrees separates the moon and Jupiter right now. And up to the top right, got the Scorpions meteor showers in Antares. I know there's some, I think the Lyrids or another meteor shower is happening earlier. I missed it. Just got on for a minute here. Little birdie passing us by. What's up, tree climbing? Nice to see you. It's been a while. So checking out north of Sea of Serenity right here, Posidonius crater centered on screen. Above that, the two dark craters are Hercules and Atlas, respectively left and right. We got a couple of little strewn craters flung out like little thought bubbles from Posidonius. Got Lacus Somniorum and Plana, and Lacus, what is this? Lacus Mortis, the dead lake. Centered on screen, you got Eudoxus and Aristoteles, creating the start of the Apennine mountain range. Tiny bit washed out as we enter Mare Frigoris, Sea of Cold. We got Montes Tenerife, no, right? Montes Alpes. And another bird, Montes Alpes and Plato Crater, north of Mare Imbrium. Yo, what's up, Biz? How you doing? Yeah, Hercules and Atlas, Vicky, those are, 10,000 feet, or 3,200 meters, and about 70 kilometers across. That was Hercules, and Atlas is about a little bit larger, 88 and 10,000 as well. try and go through some older tracks tonight. I'm looking for my lighter here. Just a few shots of the moon. I'm gonna head over to Jupiter, see what's going on with the Jovian situation tonight. Hope you all had a nice start to your week. It's a pretty easy Monday. I'm feeling spacious tonight. Exactly, I was feeling very, very chill from this weekend's streams. Really mellows you out doing late night shows. Everything gets dialed down. Throwing down some info in the chat about, is anyone ever wondered why they named all the moon missions Apollo after the sun god? Continues, the national divinity of the Greeks, Apollo has been variously recognized as a god of music, truth, prophecy, healing, sun and light, plague, poetry, and more. Apollo is the son of Zeus and Leto, and has a twin sister, the chaste huntress Artemis. And Justin chimes in with conspiracy, I tell you. All of it. All our history is conspiracy. I was listening to some people complain about how all these conspiracies are ruining YouTube. And I just feel like instead of complaining about it, you should really go out and study some more stuff, because you realize there's a lot of truth out there. Might be plagued with conspiracies, but not everything is completely fake. There's always a little bit of truth in there. Vicky, I don't really know why they named it Apollo, but it's quite interesting, I think, all the numerology around that. And all the nomenclature. There's always the two parallel lines, or the 11 in the Apollo, and the two O's, of course. You get a lot of gematria on the name Apollo and the word Apollo. And honestly, all those missions have very, very particular numerology related to them. What's up, Hadley Scott McIntyre? Jupiter's a little bit below the moon right now, so I'm gonna head on over there. Just saying what's up to everybody in the chat. And I always thought that also Apoyo, a little bit, the whole thing that it's a chicken. There's something so weird about all of that, and the Kubrick depth and I don't know, things like that, because there are so many different conspiracy movies and documentaries about it. I feel like it's very hard to really discern what's real and what's not real about those things. I've really looked into a ton of the background, and I really can't tell one way or another. I can't tell that there's a lot of footage out there that looks very real. And it boggles my mind to have such advanced technology and yet such primitive technology at the same time. Be held back in such ways. What's up, Dr. Michael Miller? How you doing? Like he was talking about the Apollo naming. Some say it was because they were actually going to the moon to see what damage the sun had caused to it. That's interesting. Yeah, that's very possible too. Might not be a conspiracy, but it might be. Vicky says if you listen to the moon missions, there's several times they mention the black sand and the black glass they had been looking for. Interesting. Yeah, I think I do remember something about that, but it always triggers the idea of the Libyan glass and essentially the idea that electric discharge can transmogrify elements and turn certain elements into silica or turn silica into other elements. So I wonder if glass on the moon is something that was found or if it was something that was found on Earth. I don't know, but it does have some wild implications, that's for sure. I don't know why I feel so delicate about talking about it, but I don't want to get too deep tonight. I'm a little bit tired, to be honest, so I'm not going to speculate too deeply about it, but I think it's hard to tell what was discovered on the surface. So I looked into the research of the Israeli rover crashing, and of course it's this very primitive camera and there's no footage of it getting to the moon. And it always boggles the mind that it's treated so realistically and yet there's just such limited and primitive footage. Yet again, 2019 rolls around and we're still there. But that's just my lament for the night. I'm done. What's up, Dee Dee? Nice to see you. All right, let's do this. Yeah, y'all. Everybody's tired in the chat room. I feel you. I mean, I've got some energy, but my voice, I can tell, I'm just like, ah. But whatever. We got some Jupiter in tow right here. I'm always excited to get space going, so let's dive in here and see what moons we got showing. By the energy of Jove, we shall travel through time and space. Yeah, I got some atmospheric turbulence going, but that's a cool shot of Jupes. I got some moonage up here. Alright, up top we got Europa. To the left of Jupiter we got Callisto, and then further left is Io. And then we got another star with no name in tow to the left of that. And so I want to say Ganymede is probably in front. No, Ganymede is... Yeah, Ganymede is up top left of Jupiter. If I reduce the aperture on this see, maybe we can zoom in. Seeing is pretty atrocious. I mean, Jupiter's still rising, but you can see all that. It's like the cold front moving through. Both nights now, like tonight's a little warmer, but just throwing the focus way off. All right, let's get a little bit of wide footage over here, and then maybe I'll switch up the lens and see what's going on. We'll do some zoomed in shots. Yeah, Doc. Did you see the one from last night? The two kind of, yeah, you were here last night with the two, like the dice eyes on either side of Jupiter. That was pretty crazy as well. I really love watching Jupiter. It's quite an incredible thing that we get to do, to be honest. And then Saturn soon. If I had the patience, I would wait tonight, but it's going to be pretty late. And the same issues kind of arise, like, I don't know what it is, but just that cold front coming over the bay always gives that weird distortion. It needs to be a really clear night, but I'm excited. Yeah, Dee asks, do I know if Jupe's moons are similar or larger than our moon? I think some of them are like almost the size of Earth, so they've got to be some. I'll look that up, but I would think so. It's got to be a handy dandy chart. All right. Yeah. So Io looks like it's about the size of the moon, about 2,100 kilometers across, and then Europa is a bit smaller than our moon. Ganymede and Callisto are both much larger than, well, not much larger, I guess, twice the size of our moon. And yeah, not close to Earth. I was speaking incorrectly. Maybe I was thinking of, what was I thinking of? Maybe I was thinking of Titan. Let me see the size of Titan. Titan is almost twice the size of our moon. Yeah, nothing really matches Earth that closely, I guess, in terms of moons. But I would say Ganymede or Titan are the two largest moons in our solar system as of now. I wonder what they classify Ceres as. I guess it's a planetoid. Hadley Scott McIntyre says, never seen a flying saucer. I have not either, but I've definitely seen some interesting light formations. I'm sure it's craft that we've made as humans. But I do have a playlist archive filled with different transits, some things that you could definitely classify as unidentifiable. Yeah. Hell yeah, DD. Thanks for letting me research, or inspiring me to research that. I should have checked it before talking. But yeah, none of them are really the size of Earth, but several are larger than our own moon, which is incredible. And God, imagine being able to see. I mean, I was just imagining it in my mind, and also looking at it on the screen, thinking like we are looking at, Io, Callisto, and Europa. But yeah, with no detail more than a star pinprick. Alright, this is some stuff y'all haven't heard before. It's fully improvised jam session from a little while ago. Let's get into it. And if it gets really weird, I'll stop. Yo, what's up there, Copper? How are you? Ohio gozaimasu. Alright, it is the morning after all. Vicky says, I seen a thing once, not sure what it was, came from way high in the sky, hung over us for like 30 secs, then shot off at like light speed, disappeared at like 3 secs, in like 3 seconds. Copper says, why so plasma-like tonight? Yeah, because getting like a cold front moving through South Florida. It's been like really nice and hot during the day, like nice temperate. And then at night, this cold front over the bay. And so both last night and the night before, it's just kind of wavy, molten-y space. It's not too bad, it's not like during the winter when it just gets completely out of whack. This, at least, you got a little bit of sharpness. I'll switch back to the moon in a few as well. Hey, what's going on, Nancy W? How are you? Morning to you. To hear that everyone's doing well. Sorry I had a weird one, Ellie. Whoops. Come back. Yeah, so just again for everybody joining, we're looking at Jupiter, top right, Europa, bottom left, Callisto to the right, and Io to the left. That's awesome. Yeah, it's nice weather coming. It's kind of perfect down South Florida. These types of like the end of winter. All right, let's do some moonage. So, switched out that focal reducer. So we got the camera direct to scope right now, got a zoomed in shot and it's looking not too bad. So, gonna do a little tour here and pulling up my atlas. Just gotta figure out my bearings, my moon bearings. So let's go up north. I think I can figure it out. This is Sea of Serenity and Posidonius. Alright, so I'm just going to creep along and see what is the sharpest, I think. So Posidonius directly center. Posidonius with a bird passing through. Got 3 little craterlets coming out, Posidonius B, Posidonius J, and then Daniel W is the 3rd little eyelet craterlet next to Posidonius. And then the floating one top left of that is Grove, Grove, kind of just bordering on that ring plane, that light mountain range. So, mind you, this is north of Sea of Serenity, so that's the whole Mare underneath. This is Sea of Serenity. It's a little bit blown out, but let's keep going across the top. Checking, so that's Posidonius. To the right of that would be Romer. Yeah, Romer is about 40 kilometers across, looking really deep and dark. That's the center item right now. I'm coming through loud and clear. Let's go down the Terminator line a bit further. Alright, so this little keyhole type structure with a dark craterlet to the right of that, it's going to center here for a second. The dark one is called, let's see. Why is it looking so weird? Maybe it's upside down for me? Pallas Somni. I guess the Somni plane or the dream plane. And then the little keyhole thing is Proclus G. Oh, I guess that's where it is. So this is right under the mouth of Mare Crisium, and I guess right under the Terminator line to the right of that is Proclus. So there would be extensions of Proclus coming through underneath the Terminator. This part's looking actually really interesting. Kind of they're almost like little football shapes, like 2 mid-sized ones, one really small one, one kind of large little rabbit head. I'm getting crazy rabbit head pareidolia on the last one. Let's see if y'all can see it as well. Every so often it gets sharp, so let's be patient here. There it is. aptly named Pallas Somni. Alright, Rabbit Head, we follow you down. So, this dark crater, I'm really having trouble. It doesn't look exactly the same on this atlas. The Terminator line looks like it's a little bit off. So forgive me for not knowing what the hell I'm talking about. I admit it. I know nothing. I'm trying to find a good background track here. Alright, but there's a very, very pronounced letter K right here, which is just nuts. Actually, there's an O to the left of that as well. Really sharp definition of that feature. I've definitely seen it before, but it's really good tonight considering. I'm trying to find what that's called. Anyone else who's got a lunar atlas following along, feel free to correct me in the chat. I'm doing my best right here. All right, so let's find this one. I'm curious. Is this Proclus? And was that Microbius? You know, I'm gonna zoom out and just do this correctly. So, okay, so I'll use the little red riding reticle. Here we go. And I traveled far. Okay, so we started over here. That is North Sea of Serenity. The red rectangle centered in on Posidonius crater. And so we followed the whole trail downwards, and that was the bridge between Sea of Serenity and Sea of Tranquility. And we kind of dabbled over here. This was the... Okay, so this has some really interesting pareidolia. And it's got a crater with 3 little crater rocks going on inside it. I'm just gonna let it sit here for a moment while it resolves into a scorpion with a fern and a demon head. So this seems like it's Macrobius and Tisserand around Lacus Bonitatis, I think. Yo, what's up? Just checking the chat room here. What up, MMDC? How's it going? What's up, C. Smith? How you doing? And what's up there, Outdoor Corey? Hell yeah, get that rum. Just gonna keep cruising down here. I'm trying to figure it out. So I got this really great lunar atlas on my PC, but I don't know what happens is it kind of, sometimes it doesn't have the same shading or shadowing as what we're actually looking at, even though the phase is correct in the software. And it really throws me off, even though I'm very familiar with lunar features, as you guys well know. I don't know. So, but it still looks really cool. And I'm gonna do my best as I go down. I think I know where I'm at. I'm like north of Tranquility, right? Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely Lacus Bonitatis and Macrobius, but it just doesn't look the same. It's gotta be that. And then this is Proclus G, yeah, this was the extension of Proclus under Mare Crisium. And then Pallas Somni was the little area to the right of that with those 3 little footballs. All right, now I think I've figured it out. Let's keep going down here. So this K feature has got to be Lick. It's called Lick or Da Vinci. It's right near this thing, this little mountain range called Da Vinci. There we go. Also, it doesn't show up like that K in this atlas at all. But I think I can see the little. I'm not sure what that really is. I think it might be the ridges of a small mountain range, or two craters side by side creating that feature. It's really fascinating. And then to the left of that, when your eye resolves, it looks like an OK. Fascinating. Yeah, I wasn't trying to freak anyone out with the demon head. I was just joking. Just, you never know, these things on the moon, they just always have like they don't always, but at least 50% of them have like a humanoid figure with a crown or pointy ears or rabbit head. It's hard to escape it. I think it's all the media that we've been fed. You start relating these things to priests and wizards. All right, so check out this feature right here, looking very hexagonal. Crater within a crater, almost a crater on the rim of this larger crater. And I'm just gonna zoom out and make sure, see where I'm at. So this is south of there's Mare Fecunditatis, and then, yeah, Serenity, Tranquility. Oh, no, that's Mare Nectaris. And then further down. Yeah, I think it's Zagat is the crater. Unless I'm insane. I feel totally insane tonight. Nothing is really matching up. It's so funny. Whatever, let's just look at the features. If I happen to get the name right, I happen to get the name right. This is right along the Terminator line. Got a little slither, little creature right here, I want to say. Looks like a character, could look like a tool. Also could look like a little zygote or a fork. It also looks like sand on the beach. Just walking around with those soft rocks peeking out of the gray packed sand. Especially because of the long shadows. Looks like you're really at the beach. So this is south of Tycho. Tycho's pretty washed out right now, but I don't know, let's see, where else is looking sharp? Let's take a look at Mare Imbrium for a moment. It's not great, but you can see a little bit of the red storm looking really big actually. It's also being blown out of proportion just a little bit. But Jupiter Mighty coming at us from billions of miles away. Just unbelievable. Actually, no, I think it's a little more like hundreds of millions, not billions. I think it's something like it's like 400 some odd. I'm gonna look it up. Yo, take it easy, MMDC. All right, 588 million kilometers. So it's a little bit off, not a billion. But whatever we deem kilometers as, we're just looking at something 600 million of those units away. Staggering. Oh man, what do I have? Here we go. Yo, thanks Outdoor Corey. I appreciate that. Alright, so we got a little more Jupiter here. We also got Ganymede, the fourth visible moon, crossing the top, going across the top of Jupiter, so top left. But it's really hard to see right now. I think you can sort of make out the shadow, almost at the 1 o'clock position. But definitely the great red storm. I'm just trying to hold steady and see if we get a little bit better focus on it in a few. Yeah, just a tiny bit. Getting a little more steady. I would consider using the 2x at this point, but it's probably just the sky. Yeah, you can see it shifting as I talk about it. Yeah, Corey, there are a couple of different event videos about Jupiter. I have one where, from quite a while back, where I was zooming in on Jupiter, and this satellite, this deep sky satellite, one of those that are supposed to be at the 10,000 kilometer mark, was just streaking by as soon as I zoomed in, and then I kept track of it for about 10 minutes. And then I think it was in 2017, in August, I caught this other kind of atmospheric turbulence called the wave that went across Jupiter. And that's really a fascinating phenomenon that, you know, some have tried to explain, others are still confounded by it. I'm still on the fence about what it really is. This guy, John McKeon, actually, funny enough, a few days ago reposted his Jupiter wave, quote unquote, in high resolution format. And if you see my Jupiter wave, I linked to his video because he caught it first. But really interesting phenomenon. So there's that, and then there's the Jupiter satellite transit from a little while back. Yo, what's up, Iffy dude? How's it going? You can see all the scintillation happening on the moons, particularly with this setup because there's less glass going on. It's coming right to the camera. Oh, rad. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff, man. Like, this whole space adventure has been incredible. And just really in, like, what is it, like 5 years of scoping, I've caught so many interesting things and done, like, probably once in a lifetime type of events like the eclipses and the Mercury transit and Venus and the moon. Just so fortunate that I just jumped on board at the right time. I missed a few once in a lifetime events. I think like in 2012 there was Venus transiting the sun, which would have been amazing, and something else in 2007, 2008 there's the Jupiter comet impact, which I probably wouldn't have had the gear or the money to do it anyway, but yeah. Yeah, Dr. Michael Miller, you can check out, I got like a couple of them still posted in the playlist, I think. But yeah, there was a point, I've told the story in the past, I didn't want to harp on it because why draw attention to it, but one of the videos was removed for some reason. It was a close-up of a wave that was a completely separate event, and there was nothing. It was all my music, and it was just like a tiny clip of it, and it got taken down, and I wasn't able to stream for 3 months from about 2 years ago. And yeah, that's just like this strange anomaly that happened for no particular reason, probably triggered some people. But yeah, lunar wave is a fascinating thing that just is what it is. But the Jupiter wave, the fact that it exists almost entirely in the same context across such a much smaller area of like footage space, I guess the fact that you get two fully formed, very sharp, defined waves passing over Jupiter in the same way that happens over the moon is just incredible. Probably looks like the same event, but yeah. Yo, what's up, Z-Proxy? Showing up out of nowhere. Of course, talking about the lunar wave. You've seen all of them. Alright, let's go back to the moon for a little bit. Let's see if I can do this without getting up. So, Jupiter is... If I just push straight up while I hit the moon. Or have we lost the moon on the window? Alright, I gotta get my butt up. Alright. Yo, Corey asks, how much does the telescope and all the software cost? So that's kind of a broad question. A lot of different items. This particular scope is in the, I want to say, 3,500, 4,000 range, and the camera is about 2,000. That's the basic setup. The rest is there's a capture card, there's a bunch of cables, there's a computer. It's all in the kind of few thousand range. And then there are all the other telescopes and the lenses and all the little extra things that you need to keep them all maintained and cleaned. It's kind of a lot, but well worth it. Well worth it. All right, so I adjusted the contrast a bit back at the moon, trying to get a clear shot tonight because I feel like it's kind of there, but it's also being a little stubborn. I busted up that color, added a bit of contrast, and you can kind of see the nice colors coming out of Oceanus Procellarum and Imbrium. It's really one of my favorite features, the fact that you can kind of see the two greens and dark greens against one another. Yeah, it was kind of one of those things you have to spend to learn, and then once you learn, you want at least one nice piece. Same kind of with the musical venture. If you start learning, you kind of practice a bit and get a practice acoustic guitar and a cheap Fender Strat, and then like once you graduate, you want to get like a nice axe. So this scope that we're working on, that you're looking at right now, looking through, is the 11-inch that I spent 2-3 years saving money to kind of get and just have a really premium telescope at my place. But it doesn't mean that the 8-inch that I used to use, like when I first started, isn't really an excellent telescope pretty much all around. The 11 just gives you that extra kind of edge. A little bit more light gathering, like this shot right here, which I feel is getting sharper because I wished it so. The 11-inch really gets just that little extra bit of magnification. Hard to tell if you don't know what you're looking for, but if you're a moonosaur, you definitely feel that. Yeah, so the range kind of goes from about $1,000 for an 8-inch telescope up to $3,000, $4,000 for an 11-inch, 12-inch. And then you kind of jump into this whole other game, which I haven't played in and I dream about, but it's also like you need the space to do it. It's hard to go out and get a $20,000 telescope if you don't have a proper backyard and just a whole bunch of stuff to deal with. But that would be the ultimate goal. Z-Proxy asking me something out of the deep crap, the deep caverns of the past. Let me see what it says. Z-Proxy says, "What's my take on the new Fantastic Second Son Crow is talking about?" You know, the short answer there is that I don't really follow that kind of theory exploration anymore. I'm sure you know where my thinking resides nowadays. It's very plasma-oriented and an interconnected electric universe. And that the first thing I want to really talk about, if we're talking about theories, is what we're looking at exactly right here, which is the scarification of the moon and all the moons and the asteroids and meteorites and comets, etc., all look like they've been blasted by electric arcing. And That's the sort of long, short answer. So, no opinion, probably no second sun, probably no second moon. It's that same thing like I was talking about a few years ago, which is like, why do you need a second sun for things to be exciting? Why do we need Nibiru or aliens, or there's always something more. Like, it's never enough to just have like not like just to have a moon or a sun, which has all these mysteries and all this incredible stuff going on with it. It's the most interesting thing that I've found in my life, is watching the moon and the sun and the stars, and also streaming it. But this idea that you have to look at pictures and derive extraneous conspiracy to find it exciting, I don't know why it doesn't excite me anymore. But it's just, but to each their own. It's not like people can't do it. It happens all the time. Yeah, Vicky says I need a dome and a scope. I've been thinking about that. I feel like, though, like with the rise of, I guess, the rise of amateur astronomers and the cheapness of telescopes, even back when I first started, Vicky, you probably know, and Z-Proxy, you certainly know, like there were much fewer people streaming and watching the moon. Now we have like a plethora, and especially even like deep-rooted agencies and observatories are trying to, quote-unquote, stream. And I say that only because, like, it's just so embarrassing not embarrassing, it's just annoying to watch things like the Griffith Observatory do Mars opposition and run a stream that's barely better than, a homebrew astronomer, with people who have no context or any additional information or anything interesting to add to Mars. So it's pretty sad, but that's why I do what I do. And I'm sure there are a lot of you who watch who do the same thing. Looking for a song to sing. Looking for something. I got flagged for that Bob Marley song yesterday. Even the instrumental got flagged for like 2 seconds. Sorry, we're gonna monetize your video for no good reason. Even though you didn't even monetize it. Let's see what's going on. So I need a dome, yes. So I was thinking, so like I was saying, so if the scopes get cheaper and there's a rise of telescopy, that maybe those remote sites will get cheaper as well, because those seem like a great option, because dark skies down in South Florida is going to be really tough, and lugging gear around and mosquitoes and all that. I'd gladly pay to house external gear in the desert and rent it out and be able to use it remotely. So I think that's coming around the corner. I've been, especially if you follow the guys at the Astro Imaging channel, they talk about that like it's a regular happenstance, and they wouldn't ever go back to just manually doing it. I get it. So soon maybe, but I also kind of like this setup where it's a little bit rough and tumble, where I have to move things manually and just kind of stay interactive with it. It also has its perks. Yeah, Vicky, I'll take a look. I've said it and I'll say it again. I've also watched like the Thunderbolts Project guys not hammer home the moon thing over and over again, and I just wonder why they don't do it either. So I feel like it's not, I don't think the be-all end-all is Electric Universe, but I really think this is a great place to start. I mean, just looking at it, it's so obvious that these are the questions that we can really talk about. If I can see data and other scientists can see data, and we can analyze what these patterns coming off of Copernicus look like, it really just seems to me like You have these Lichtenberg fractal figures coming out. You can reproduce them in the laboratory. You can reproduce these kind of depressions in the land. You can reproduce these pockmarks, blisters. They know the composite of the lunar soil. There's always this whole big hullabaloo about like debunking the conspiracy and using lunar soil to do all these stupid tests to debunk conspiracies, but they don't do lunar tests with ballistics to show impact craters that look like what we're looking at here with Tycho and this, what is something like 250 kilometer long double parallel ray coming off of it to the left, and how that was formed, which to me just seems like not looking into something major here on Earth. Like, oh, there's this giant canyon that stretches from like Africa to South America. Let's not look at it. There's no real documentation on what this feature actually is or how it was formed. So I think it's a really great place to start. Corey says, do you get a good view of Mars with your setup? I do, actually. I've gotten like some really, really good shots of Mars with the 8-inch on the back porch during opposition, right after the dust storm cleared. It really wasn't, not many nights, but there were a couple of nights that it was really excellent. If you go back to last year and type in Mars, you'll see like a few streams where I got like a very, very good shot of Mars. I haven't had a chance to use the 11 on Mars simply because I can't set up in the back porch, and Mars hasn't risen in the east in quite a while, I think, at least 2 years. Yeah, Vicky, the desert setups, I mean, that type of thing with the dome, you can rent the time. That would be the best. Yo, what's up there, David? Awesome that you're watching it on the big screen. I was just enjoying the view of this crater tonight. I'm loving that sinuous rail going all the way down the middle, trying to focus in on it. I'm just gonna have to sit here while it resolves for a moment. How loud the snare was in that one. It's actually kind of irritating. All right, switching it over to something a little more produced, a little further down the line. And this looks like it's resolving just a touch, so you can see that really long, very fine, sinuous rail going through, almost on top of one of the like raised mini plateaus. Or whatever that is, it's almost like a raised hill. I'm just going to do another little tour around the Terminator line here. Hopefully some things will stay in focus. Pareidolia going on with little bird heads over here, or claws. Blasted the ISO for that. There we go. All right, let's go back to Jupiter for a little bit. And then I'm gonna call it, I gotta get to sleep. It's rolling on 2:30 right now. Feeling good though. Got Theophilus in view. It'll be nice when it's super clear and we can see Theophilus and all this glory. Right now, definitely getting some chromatic aberration. You can kind of see the orange and blue hue showing up. Hopping deep down Theophilus, seeing the trifecta center peaks. One of the most pronounced. Certainly one of my favorite features. Although I always say that, there's always some crater that I really dig, at least for this phase. If it were, not if it were clear, it is still my favorite feature, but if it were clear, it would be nice.
For
Sorry for the spazzing out. Alright, I was trying to get Jupiter, but it's not going to happen. It's gone a little too far south for me at this point. So I was trying to do it without losing the moon, because both of them are out of reticle view. That is the technical reason why all that transpired. But the short of it is, this is the end of the show, my friends. I'm gonna leave it kind of, I don't know, should I leave it bright? About to lose the view over here. So thanks for stopping by for the late night show. We got a little bit of jupes. We got some nice moonage. So I'll try and stream again tomorrow night, but it might be a bit till next stream. We'll see how it goes. Give y'all a personal shout out. Astronomy live stream. Take care, David. Outdoor Corey, have a good one. Thanks for all the interaction. Nice words. Vicky, as always. Yo, Black Ballerina, just noticed you there. How's it going? Who else we got? C. Smith, thanks so much. Saw Z Proxy earlier. I know Ellie was here. I know Vision was here. I know Dr. Michael Miller was here. There's MMDC. There are a couple of good people. All good people. Let me know if I missed you. I'll play one more song, and we'll get out of here. It's late, man. I'm getting tired. Last song before bed. It's The Return. That kind of red glow earlier was nice. I can't tell now, I'm just being fidgety. I'm just gonna let it be. Alright, let it be. have been reports of off-gassing, right, on the moon. Heavy metals, noble gases, xenon, argon, neon. But you never know, like I can't take those measurements myself, but it definitely looks like there's some sort of like interesting haze across the moon. Anyway, rough and tumble ending. Moon has vanished, space has vanished, and it's time for me to vanish. Thank you, friends and fam. Ride with you soon. Have a great day tomorrow, and be well, be safe.